Welcome to episode 29 of Curious Conversations, 1 off 30.
1 off 30, bro, it's mad. 30.
We have a special episode today and it lands exactly on the day. If you listened to the last podcast, you would have heard that what we're going to be speaking about today. And today marks 2 years of sobriety for this guy right here.
Yep.
How you feeling?
I feel so good, man. I think this is just a good opportunity to reflect on all the things that have happened throughout that 2 years. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't like I had a massive issue, like I wasn't an addict or anything like that. But it was something that I thought that it needed to be a part of my life, just because of the culture that you grow up in and stuff like that. I started drinking really early. I think a lot of people that listen to this podcast from early on will know that, and people that are close to me will know that. I started drinking probably at the age of, I think I got caught drinking when I was like 12 or something like that, so not even a teenager yet, which is wild to say out loud because like my life's so different, and people, if I was to tell people that, then they probably wouldn't believe me. So it's one of those ones. I think that I'm proud to say that I'm 2 years sober, and long may it continue. Like I feel great. There's not 1 ounce of me that feels like I need to have a drink to have a good time. I've kind of found what makes me tick, and that's working out, working on, like in terms of like a job, like my job that I'm doing just now, spending time with people that I love and that I cherish their company and stuff like that, and that's kind of it, and drinking coffee.
Sweet. Let's go back to 2 years ago then. The moment you quit. Why did you quit? Was it like a realisation? Was it a thing that you've tried to do before that? Like what was it?
I remember that. I remember the day I was on holiday. I was on like a kind of party holiday with some people that I still some of them I still chat to today, but they were proper into the boozing and the taking shit and stuff like that, and I booked the holiday when I was kind of still in that.
Yeah.
Like months in advance, and then as the holiday came, I was like slowly coming away from it. But obviously I paid for it all, so I wasn't gonna not go. So yeah, I went. I think I drank probably like 2 days out of the 4, and then I actually got a flight home early, because I was just done with it. I just completely locked out. I felt like I couldn't relate to anyone there, and I just felt like I needed to go and kind of crack on, and that's exactly what I did. And I've not looked back since, to be honest. It's been so good.
So did you stop because of is there a reason why you stopped?
No, like in
when
terms of
when you were drinking, something was happening, or
the reason I stopped drinking was because I realised like I couldn't deal with the whole like afterwards, like the whole like feeling that you felt afterwards. I couldn't deal with it. Like I struggle mentally. Like I have in the past, I've struggled mentally, like even when I'm sober. So putting like a hangover on that and fear onto that, just like makes it like 10 times worse. Intensifies it so much, to say the least. And I was just going through it every single time. I would go through that cycle of like, right, okay, the fear's gone now. Now I can go back out again and things like that. And I would just do the exact same thing over and over and over again. It would be like, I would make the fucking absolute tit. I'd make an absolute tit of myself. And see the people that say like, drunk minds like speak true thoughts or something like that, whatever that saying is. That's dog shit. Like I used to say like wild shit and wake up in the morning, but I don't even, what? I don't even believe that myself. But Nah, it was just accumulation of times where I've like heavy had I was riddled with the fear and anxiety and like hangovers. Like I used to just I wouldn't get out of my bed for a full week. I wouldn't go into work. I used to work with City Building when I was like doing that stuff, and I genuinely wouldn't go in for a week, and they'd be heavy phoning me, and I just wouldn't. I wouldn't reply, and then I would go in like the next Monday, like nothing happened. It was wild.
Just ignoring everything.
Just ignoring it. I was like, what? No. But nah, it's been. It was definitely the turning point for me. I knew that I had to do it when the last time I drank. I was like, right, okay, I'm never doing this again. I'm done with this. So it feels good. I feel like I'm in the right place just now.
Yeah.
For sure.
Sick. And we wanted to open up this podcast just with both our journeys and chat about it. Now 14 months, I think it was June, end of June, last year that I stopped drinking. And
because you had a time, didn't you? You had like a specific, like the last time you drank, that was like a time that pushed you over the edge to go sober.
Yeah. Like mine's was like a realisation moment as well, but it was also a cumulative. I thought I could control drinking and boozing, and I couldn't. Like, I'll go into the story. So I was in Marbella the last time I drank, and I was at a coaching mentorship with a load of other coaches. I think there was maybe 25, 30 of us on a night out, and it was that kind of maybe like uncomfortable feeling of not really knowing them that much, and the Irish can obviously drink heavily as well, and like one thing led to another, drank another one, ended up like blackout drunk. I can't remember anything past probably 10 o'clock at night or something.
So funny,
maybe. And I spent a shit ton of money, spent so much money, slept right through to the next day. Obviously I was in another country, so Jenna, my mum, like all that had like been contacting me at night, and I hadn't messaged, hadn't seen anything. So they'd had they were like, where the fuck is he? And I remember waking up that day, like exactly what you said, so anxious, the fear. That's something that now I look back on that I did struggle with as well, was that the feelings afterwards. And yeah, it was just a proper realisation moment of like, the only way I can stop this happening is through stopping completely. And it was, as I mentioned earlier about, I thought I had control on it. Now, I went through uni where I was drinking 4 times a week, usually as a minimum, where I was going home at the weekends from Edinburgh and drinking with my pals Friday, Saturday, and then during the week I was 2-3 times like at uni with my uni pals. So like I spent 3-4 years doing that, and it was the same thing where I would get steaming drunk, blackout drunk most of the time, and I couldn't control it. Like I would have one and then that would lead to so many. And then like I started training a lot more. I started, as you said, coming out of that. But I was still drinking every so often, like maybe once a month into then once every couple of months. But I thought I had that control on it, but there was maybe 3 or 4 episodes where the exact same thing happened, where I had one drink and then it just led to having 40.
Yeah, it's wild. And I'm someone who, like, when I was drinking, I think I was, like you spoke about, like the whole kind of confidence thing. I think that's exactly what I was doing, and I believe that I was doing that because I felt so uncomfortable in that environment.
Yeah.
I was doing it for a reason, just because I couldn't like stand being in that type of environment, like that boozing environment. Like, and I just felt like I needed to.
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to follow everyone else. So that in turn made me drink more and more and more and more. I totally agree, mate. I remember actually the time you came back from holiday. That holiday
Sanctuary.
in Sanctuary, we were working together in the Sanctuary, and I caught him as I was leaving. He was going in, and I could just see you were just a shell of
I
yourself.
was.
You were
This
just
is
a
like
shell.
a couple of days after, wasn't
And do you
it?
know
I came
what?
back.
See, looking back at that, I feel like we can laugh at it because
Yeah, of course.
it's so funny to see how far you can come in like a 14 month kind of time frame.
Yeah,
You've came on so much, you've done so much, like with your job, with your fitness, just with life in general, mate, and it's admirable, and that's probably why we can like we get on so well and we do all these things together because it's fucking we feel the exact same way about that shit.
yeah, you're so right. I think that's something that we're going to touch on in the podcast is what can happen off the back of removing something that you almost feel like is a vice to your life. But that I want to touch on that uncomfortable feeling as well. Like I feel, especially during uni, like I think that's why, looking back, I used to get that way because I was like uncomfortable in myself, like my sober self. Like I wasn't confident in myself. I wasn't showing up for myself. Wasn't like going to the gym. Wasn't training. Like just wasn't genuinely doing things that were good for me. And I think the more and more you go into the drinking culture and heavily rely on it almost, the more you judge yourself as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's when my confidence was lowest. When it's weird because it seems like my confidence was pretty high, especially on nights out, because I was completely masking it with booze.
Yeah.
And as soon as I had a couple of drinks in me, I had that confidence. I was chatting to way more people, this, that, and the next thing. And it's not until you come away from it and look back on the times and realise, shit, I actually didn't like who I was then, and that's a big reason why I tried to mask it and tried to be someone else.
For sure. I done the exact same every single time that I was drinking. I feel like I can't think of I went out drinking countless times. Like as I said, I started drinking really, really young, and I've done that throughout my full teenage years up until I was 19. I can't remember a single time that I woke up in the morning and thought that was worth it. And I think I felt like that because I wasn't being true to myself.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was always like playing a different character, and it showed on the nights out. Like people would like say things to me that I said to them and stuff like that. Like I don't even think that. I don't even agree with that. And it's like that's just a different person.
Yeah.
And it was definitely probably the worst version of me that came out when I was drunk, and that's one of the biggest things why I don't do it anymore as well.
Yeah, 100%. Let's touch on what can happen when you remove something like that from your life. So
Yeah.
let's run back 2 years from now, like what you've managed to do and how your life has completely changed since then.
Yeah. But it's wild. It's wild. I think that I've achieved a lot, and that's one thing that, because I'm going to make a video about this whole 2 years sober and stuff like that, and that's one thing that I speak about in it is like all the things that I've achieved. It's pushed me to get out of a job that I didn't like. It's pushed me to focus on my fitness and focus on my energy as well when it comes to like being surrounded by certain people. You know yourself, like when you go out, you can be like exposed to so many dafties, and I would normally probably be the dafty, but also be like around a lot of them. And it's always that, oh fucking, I love you, bro, I would die for you, bro, you literally just met that guy fucking 2 seconds ago. So it's similar stuff like that. So protecting my energy and putting my energy into things that make me feel good. I've like improved massively when it comes to my fitness, because I was actually like doing a little bit of fitness while still like when I was drinking and stuff like that, when I wasn't like fully sober, and it was just setting me back every single time, and I was wondering why I wasn't making any progress. And it's clear to see like why I wasn't making any progress, and that was down to because I was going out at the weekend and I was drinking and I was doing all that other shit. So yeah, just to kind of name a few, I've now built a life that I'm proud of. I wake up in the morning feeling excited to get up and happy to go see my mates in the gym, go like help people improve their lives and just kind of progress with my life as well. So I feel like that's the things that you can focus on when you don't need to worry about fucking the hangover or the anxiety of, oh, what did I say last night? What did I do last night? All that stuff. So that's one of the ones some of the things that I've done.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect, like, the perfect way to put it is the not feeling a certain way and what you can do off the back of it.
Yep.
It's like we were chatting about the constant cycle of what happens when if you are drinking every weekend or every second weekend. It is like you go out on the Saturday, you get steaming, you come in at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, whatever. You wake up on that Sunday late, you've there's like half a day completely gone, and then you spend the other half like just lounging about, not really doing anything, feeling terrible, eating shite, and that just carries into the next few days, the Monday, the Tuesday, the Wednesday. And for me, it was like, even on the Thursday, Friday, my brain still wasn't like ticking.
Yeah.
Like I just always felt fuzzy, always felt like a bit spaced out, and then it was time to, I could go a wee drink, I could go out tomorrow.
Because you're chasing that initial feeling that you felt on the Friday night or the Saturday night.
Yeah.
Like you felt like dog shit the full week, so the only thing that you feel like they can suppress that is you doing it again.
Yeah.
And that's why it goes in a cycle. It's one of those ones that people will say, oh, it's just one night, it's just like one night, you can go for it, you can do that, but it's never one night. It's never, especially for me anyway, and you, like it carries in right through the week, and some people are oblivious to that. They think, oh, I'm just going out for one night, I'm just this, I'm just that, and then you don't understand how much that's affecting your week when you do that on the weekend.
Yeah. Even the sleep.
Oh,
the sleep part.
The sleep is non-existent.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's like your eyes are closed, but
you're awake.
You're awake the whole time.
Yeah. It's mad.
But that is, it's that constant cycle going over and over and over again, and people do it for years on end. People do it for their whole lives.
It's always like, I think we speak most podcasts about this, it's always to do with the awareness piece.
Yeah.
Like if you're not aware, if you're a bad drinker, right, and you aren't aware that you're a bad drinker, it's just going to continue. But being aware of these things is like the first step to getting better.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Next part I want to talk on is after I got back from Marbella. This is when I was working with a mental performance coach, and at the time I think it was weekly calls or bi-weekly calls at this point where I was having with her, and it was like maybe a couple of days after I got back, and I spoke about this and how I was feeling and how I was feeling the day after and all that, and she said one thing to me that's like, every time I think about drinking it sparks out in my mind, and that's drinking stops you thinking. And it's just like one little line that just like hit me like a ton of bricks, and it was like she spoke a lot about what drinking does is it silences a part in your brain, and usually it's the part in your brain that thinks don't do this, don't do that, like don't say this, don't say that, and it stops you thinking on that side. And that's why that's why it ties back to like the escapism that we were talking about, that a lot of people drink to escape their current reality and their current life. Like if they don't want to take responsibility for a certain part of their life, whether that's their health, their fitness, their job, their family life, like if you don't want to take responsibility on it, you feel you need an escape to that, they'll turn to drink because that stops you having that think. And it's I think about it all the time, and especially with like I've had clients in the past year which I've had like deep conversations with about this, because they have been in this constant cycle, and I always try and relate it back to my story. And I know not everyone's story is the exact same.
Yeah.
But for me to truly help someone and understand their point of view, I need to I need to be able to relate, but also I need to be courageous enough to tell them, like, you need to wrap this.
Yeah.
Or else it's going to be a long.
Because you've got a lot, I feel like, when you do start talking about like sobriety and stuff like that, because we are in a part of the UK, well, I think the UK is all kind of similar, but it's always like, shut up, like, fucking, yeah, it's that, and you're like, people sometimes shut it down just because they're unable to understand, like, why they're doing it, and they try and put like a funny spin on it and things like that, but some people, like, they need the help, they need to understand that would probably be the best thing for them.
Yeah.
Because it would allow them to focus on the little kind of blimps they've got in their life.
Yeah.
And the things that they need to deal with. Because when you are drinking and you're always fucking on it, you're always out, staying up till early hours of the morning, you're not focused on that. And as you say, like, you're not thinking about fucking the essay that you need to get finished when you're fucking out in some nightclub.
Yeah.
Winching some fucking munter. But it's like, it's so true. It's so true. You're never thinking about the things that are actually important when you're in that state. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it completely stops you thinking of anything whatsoever. Is that from experience, bro?
No, but I was talking about a friend.
Now, I want to chat about probably the hardest thing about sobriety, and the hardest thing about it may not even being sober, like completely sober and stopping it for good, but to go on a night out with friends and be sober on that night out, not drink alcohol on that night out, is that whole thing, the environment of it.
Yeah.
Now, you can go into probably a full podcast about this, but if you're like you probably know, like, a Scottish culture, a Western culture, being out with people who are drinking when you're not drinking, and they're used to you drinking when they're drinking, you will get it tight.
100%.
Like, you're going to get like, people are going to talk about it, people are going to slag you, people are going to say this, say that, and this is where a lot of people break, because like, human nature, we want to fit in. Like, it comes back from way back in the olden days of being in a tribe, and if you didn't fit into that tribe, you were osculated and then you would die. So it's literally lodged in our brain to want to be part of the environment and not want to get left out. Now, if you fast forward to today, it's like, that's the exact thing. You're so used to being in a friend group that are used to you drinking and everyone else is drinking, and that's probably the hardest piece to go off the back of, is saying no.
So it's so true. I struggled with that so much at the start.
Yeah.
I've got zero issue with that now though, because because I worked on it, but two, you start to, like, I always found it so hard to say no because I wasn't sure on myself. Like, I wasn't sure if I was that person that drank every single time. That's why I would say yes, because I would give in and be like, oh, it was the whole identity piece.
Yeah.
Like, I'm someone who enjoys, or I like going, I like fucking boozing and getting pissed. It's one of those ones that I think that the more that you focus on finding yourself and being more sure of yourself, that's when you can find it easier to say no to people.
Yeah.
And obviously it is get so much to do with environment, but I feel a lot of the time, see when someone's projecting like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you not drinking? Things like that, when they're putting that onto you, that's normally just a reflection on them.
Yeah.
That's because they feel like they couldn't do that, and that's because they feel weird that someone else is trying to better themselves and they're not.
Yeah, it holds a mirror up.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, and like, I've now got to the point where pretty much everyone who I'm like I go out with whatever knows that I don't drink, so I don't get it as much. So you just need to you just need to get past that.
Yeah, it's a stage.
It's a stage where people then identify you as the person who's not drinking on a night out, and that's exactly what has happened now.
Totally. Like, I've been doing this for so long, like in terms of like being sober, but before that, I really like stopped going out with like my old friend group. So it got to a point where they just wouldn't ask me, and it wasn't out of like them being like malicious or like trying to make me feel like I'm left out. They just knew the answer,
Yeah.
and that's what it comes down to. Like, as you say, it's literally just a stage that you need to break through, and then people just start to understand like there's no point in like saying, "Oh, why are you not having a drink?" Because he's not going to break. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a good way to think about it, like breaking it up into stages like that, because it allows you to see like a trajectory on it almost.
Yeah.
Allows you to see like if I continue to say no for a certain period of time, then people will start to accept me for me.
Yeah. What you said there about like finding yourself almost, that's something that I've not even really thought of, and I think it's almost impossible if you're that constant cycle that I spoke about earlier. If you're constantly in that, I think it's almost impossible to find yourself, because
Totally.
you'll come off the back of that weekend where you feel like shit for days on end. During the days, you're going to spend time probably eating shite, not focusing on what you want to do, not really reflecting as such, probably distracting yourself a lot with chasing certain things, chasing dopamine, and it allows you to just not find yourself whatsoever, which even makes that cycle worse.
Totally. I think it's like a recipe for being like unproductive. Like, think about how hard it is to like apply like genuine productivity into your life, right? Even being sober. Then add fear to that, add anxiety to that, add hangover to that. Like, it sounds ridiculous to expect someone to be able to do that if they're continuing to like have a drink regularly every single weekend. And I'm not talking about like once in a wee while having a wee pint or something like that. That's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
We're talking about getting absolutely pissed at your arse and not being able to function the next day. And there is a massive difference.
Yeah.
There's a massive difference, because we are friends with a lot of people, and we know a lot of people that they've not got an issue with booze. So I just wanted to kind of differentiate between that and kind of allow people to understand that you're not going to be able to find yourself if you continue to go in that cycle.
Bang on. Let's talk about masking confidence and where true confidence comes from. So we already kind of touched on it with both our journeys of masking who we actually probably were to drink to then gain some confidence. And what is it, Dutch courage it's called?
Dutch courage, bro.
Dutch courage. That's
liquid
that
courage.
literally just says what it says exactly what we're talking about. There's actually a term for it, that if you drink a certain way, if you drink, then you'll act a certain way. You'll have that a certain bit of confidence about you, because drinking stops you thinking. And where was I going with that? Oh yeah, where true confidence actually comes from, where you have learned with this.
The true confidence comes from, like, I feel like this gets overused so much, but it is like the undeniable stacked proof. Like, it is always going to be that, and I'm always going to come back to that, because it is kind of the main one when it comes to building confidence. You don't really build confidence any other way, unless, like, you don't have confidence unless you've got like proof to show that you can actually do that thing. Like, true confidence anyway. You can believe in yourself and stuff like that, but that's different. I think that I was 100% putting on a front when it comes to that. I needed the drink to be confident. I would walk into a place and be riddled with anxiety, and then as soon as I got a wee VBL or some shit or whatever the fuck, I don't even remember what I used to drink, because that was the last thing on my mind. But you would get that drink down you, and then you would start to ease into it. You'd feel so good, you'd feel like the man, and then it just all comes back. And I I've really found myself focusing on showing up for myself and focusing on actually doing the things that I want to do and the things that are going to move me forward. That's where confidence comes from, and I would say I'm in the infant stage of growing this whole thing. Like, I really didn't have a lot of confidence not that long ago. Like, it was only probably maybe like in the last year that I started to really like put emphasis on it and really understand of it and be aware of that full kind of confidence piece. Because I was always finding myself getting caught up in like the social norms and like thinking that I cared about certain things and thinking about like, what I thought, like what other people thought of me and stuff like that. But the more I focus on what I'm doing and put energy into the people that I love spending time with and put my energy towards my work and my training, like, I'm just confident because I know what type of person I am. And I'm the type of person that shows up for the things that I love to do. And that's what confident is.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of it stems from, though, is knowing yourself.
Yeah, it's knowing yourself and being sure of yourself enough to understand that you're not that type of person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, again, ties back to what we were talking about earlier.
It all ties in together.
Knowing exactly who you are. And I think when you're young, you think confidence stems from, like, a big lesson I learned, like when I was younger, was, right, if I get in amazing shape, then I'm just going to have this mad confidence. And then when the first time I ever got in best shape in my life, had a six-pack, like, when I went away to Ibiza, I actually didn't feel any different.
It's wild, isn't it?
Like, it was because I still didn't know who I was. I was still drinking a lot, still doing this, doing that, and obviously not drinking as much because I got into that shape. But then when I went to Ibiza, I definitely did. And it's like, it really does stem from knowing who you are and just backing up the actions that you said you were going to do every single day.
I think it's really hard, especially when you're like a younger person, to have confidence when you're going through that stage, because you are so unsure and you don't know, and you always I think you attach confidence as a young person. You attach confidence to like materialistic things.
Yeah.
So if I've got this thing, if I've got the six pack, if I've got a lot of money, then that will make me confident. But I think in reality it's more like my values and my morals and like understanding myself that brings confidence instead of all those materialistic things.
Yeah. Love it. We are on to our
Last thing.
part. Now we want to go away with some action from today, and that is a question that like I asked myself when I was going to stop boozing, and it was like, what did I do with my time? Like, if I'm not going out at the weekend, because it's such a big part of your identity. Like, what do you swap that with?
I know, because you said you went out like 4 times a week sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a big part of my
that's
life.
a lot.
Yeah.
4 days is a lot.
Yeah, but I suppose that was during uni, and then when I got back from uni, like finished up, got my degree, and then went into teaching.
Yeah.
It was obviously, I wasn't drinking during the week, it was just Friday, Saturday I would have drank, but it was still a very similar process for especially the first year.
I think in terms of like thinking about what you can do, there's a lot of experimenting to do.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things to like figure out, like what you enjoy. Like, you need to go out there and get out of your comfort zone is one of the biggest things that I've done. And it would be easy for me and Anton to kind of sit here and tell you, oh, like, you should go out and fucking go to the gym and do this and like do high rocks and all that stuff. It'd be easier for us to say that because we enjoy it and we found that, and that's our thing that we do. But everyone is so different. Like, everyone that listens to this podcast is going to be so different. No one person is the same. So I think that experiment, find out what you like, go to like a book club, go play badminton with your mum, like, do these things, like, go out for walks, go climb mountains. It's about trying things at the end of the day and figuring out what makes you tick, because there's a lot of things that sometimes there's probably people out there that are probably amazing at something and really have serious intense joy to do that said thing, but they've not tried it, so they don't know.
Yeah.
And that's
Sad.
that's sad. That's so sad. So the biggest advice that I would say in terms of like actionable points to take away would be go experiment more, go do things that you've never done before, and just get out of your comfort zone, because it could literally be the best choice you've ever made.
Yeah. That's exactly similar to what I say. Follow your curiosities, read more, walk more, listen to more podcasts. It doesn't have to be like self-development podcasts. It can be anything, but like make sure you're having a good information diet of what's actually going into your head.
Yeah.
Because that, what I always feel is like information shapes your reality and what you think as well. So you need to make sure that you are putting good things into your mind as well and into your ears that are going to change your own reality.
Totally. I totally agree. It's so important, and that's probably a massive thing for me looking back. Just you saying that is like, I've never tried to focus on self-development more in the past 2 years, because it's what I like to do, and it's something that I didn't know I liked to do until coming away from drinking. And
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
I suppose a big part of your life goes, another comes in.
Totally. 100%.
Fill it with the right things. Experiment. Be curious.
Be curious. That was class.
That was.
That was brilliant. I enjoyed that. I'm really proud to get a chance to sit here with you and speak about my whole journey when it comes to sobriety and stuff like that. It's something that I'm massively proud of, and I'm glad that I get the opportunity to be in this situation where I can talk about sobriety and feel good about it and feel at one with myself.
So you should be. Not a
Totally.
lot of 21-year-olds will be able to say that.
I know it's wild. It's the age. And I, just talking about this, like, I know that we're coming to the end of this, but I regularly have times where I'll question myself because of my age,
Yeah.
and solely because of my age as well. Because I see so many 21-year-olds, and I've actually got friends that still drink and stuff like that, I do think to myself, oh, should I be doing that? And I've actually programmed my brain, we spoke about this before, I've actually programmed my brain to ask like a sub-question after that question. Is like the question that I ask myself is, oh, should I be doing this? And the sub-question comes in is like, is that going to move you forward? And is that going to get you closer to where you want to be? And every single time without fail the answer is no, it's not going to get me closer. And then I've got my answer. I don't need to be doing this, I shouldn't be doing this, because that's not who I am.
Yeah.
And